Alright, Marines, get on that ready line. Hey, this is Rob. Welcome back to Rob's Game Group. And today I'd like to welcome you to another episode of A Look at the Book. In this episode, if you are a fan of the Alien role-playing game from Free League Publishing, then I have a treat for you. We are going to be taking a look at the Colonial Marines Operation Manual for the Alien role-playing game. This is, like every book that we get from Free League, absolutely gorgeous. And it comes with a ton of information on the Colonial Marines in it, and I think it's something that you're going to want. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at the book. So, okay, here we have the Alien role-playing game, Colonial Marines Operations Manual. This is a very long anticipated book coming out from Free League, and the first thing that I want to make you aware of is that I guess this video is sponsored by Free League because they sent me a copy of this book for review along with some other stuff, but this is the one I'm reviewing today. And I've always said that if I got sent something by a company to review, I would let you know up front. That's what it was. You're still going to get my honest opinion on it as we take a look at this book. Also, I would like to mention that I have not been able to play a campaign with this yet, but it is something we are planning to do soon-ish. Several of my players are very much looking forward to playing the Marine campaign, which is what this book allows us to do. So the first thing you're going to notice is that it's a big hefty tome, and it is you know, like every other book we get from them, it's fantastic quality. I think this one comes in at around 350 pages, 352 pages. So it is thick. From the back of the book, it says, armor-piercing rounds sizzle through raw flesh and plasma beams sear swollen retinas. Acid smoke chokes down your throat before you realize what's burning is you. Chemical attacks melt your armor, simmer your eyeballs, and fuse your helmet to your skull, while bioweapons turn your insides out and pulp into a quivering mold like black jelly. Welcome to the war on the razor's edge of space, Marine, where nukes are yesterday's news, pulse rounds are cheap, and human life is worth its weight in stock options. It's a living hell. But none of that's as bad as the flashes of gnashing metal teeth that terrorize you every time you close your eyes, like some monster just split your head open and crawled inside your dreams. Sometimes you gotta wonder what the hell it's all for, but no one pays you to ask why, only to follow orders. You're just a grunt, no offense. So lock and load your pulse rifle, Marine. You've got a job to do. Protect and serve the citizens of the Outer Rim colonies, no matter what the cost. The Alien Colonial Marines Operation Manual is a complete campaign module for the award-winning Alien role-playing game, giving you all the tools you need to run a full open-world campaign as an iconic Colonial Marine. This massive 352-page book includes history and organization, creating Marines, weapons and vehicles, the Frontier War, factions on the frontier, Marine missions, and the endgame. And note that the Alien RPG core rulebook is required to use this book, not the book from the starter set. You actually need the core rulebook for this. So, again, very nice hardback. One little thing that they did here is they added one of these, make sure you can see it, one of these ribbons, bookmark ribbons in here, which is nice because they did not have it in the original run of the role-playing game, the core book. I have the first run of that, which has some of the typos. I don't know if they did it in the second run or not, where they fixed the typos. They may have added a ribbon, or they may not have. I'm not sure. I don't have a copy of that one. But this one does have it, and I like it when they add those in. So let's look at the opening. It's just like the core rulebook. It has the the stars of the Middle Heavens map in here with Weyland-Yutani spelled correctly, so that's pretty awesome. This is like the updated map in the starter kit, I believe, that has the, you can see the colored sections a lot better on this map than you could the original. So I'm not going to go through every page because, you know, it's 350 pages and we only got so much time here. But I'm going to show you the basics of it. So the paper quality is just as good as it has been in the other books. Free League really does put out fantastic products. We have a 10-chapter book, and the first 5 chapters are for the players, obviously, in the game mother as well. But the last 5 chapters are straight up for the game mother. They are about running a Marine campaign, and a Marine campaign is included in here. There's a lot of information, way too much for me to go through in a 20-30 minute video. So we're going to hit the highlights. First of all, fantastic art. It is amazing. Every piece of it is great. We open up with chapter 1, Welcome to the Corps, and it is all about what to expect as you're joining the Marine Corps. What life is like in the Corps, indigenous life forms, invasive species, dark horizons, you know, rumor control, and what are the facts out there. And then that's a very short chapter. We hit chapter 2, which is history. And this is really, really nice because like we got our timeline in the main book, we have a much more extensive timeline here, but it is all related to Marine actions and Marine engagements. And the rest of this chapter is really breaking down each one of these points in time and giving you a bit of information about it. So that's really nice. Again, more fantastic, very evocative art. I'm going to go ahead to chapter 3, Organizations. Love that. I mean, it's just filled with great art. I know I say art all the time, but the art is fantastic. This one's really good. This chapter is really good. It talks a lot about the United States Colonial Marines and the formation of the Corps, operational theaters. I love this breakdown of the ranks. It also breaks down platoons, sections, squads, fire teams, and specialty fire teams. Then we have other UA military branches covered in here, at least briefly. United America's Allied Command, United States Aerospace Force. You have the Canadian Colonial Armed Forces, Latin America Colonial Navy, and Outer Rim Defense Fleet all get a little blurb. Then we have some other UA organizations that you may want to use in your games. We have the Colonial Marshals Bureau. That sounds pretty cool. We have the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. Those guys are still around. United American Colonial Guard, United States Colonial Coast Guard, and then we have forces of the Three World Empire. We have the Royal Marine Commandos, Imperial Armed Space Forces. Then we have like corporate military like Weyland-Yutani Commandos. Then we get down to UPP Armed Collective. These are your socialist. They are, you have the Union of Progressive People's Army, Space Operating Forces, Ministry of Space Security, and then we hit chapter 4, Making Marines. Again, look at that art. She's gorgeous. Love that. Let's see. On the ready line, it gives you the basics, and it talks about creating a Marine in here and what all you need to go through. It really is the same character creation process you have from the main book, only everybody basically is making a Marine, so there are a couple of extra things that you pick differently. So how you create your Marine is explained in details in this chapter. This summary below is a helpful overview. Grab a character sheet and a pencil and follow these steps. So you decide together who in the group should be the unit commander. Step 2, choose your MOS, your military occupational specialty. Step 3 is distribute 14 points among your attributes. Step 4, distribute 10 points amongst your skills. Choose your MOS talent. Number 6 is roll for your field events. Number 7 is choose your rank. Number 8 is choose your name. Number 9, decide on your appearance. Number 10, decide on your personal agenda. Number 11, choose your buddy and rival. And number 12, get your gear and signature item. So it runs through the basics of what an MOS is. and each one of those is explained out. Then you have attributes, skills, talents, and it tells you how many you can take. Like your key attribute for your MOS can have 5 points in it. Otherwise, the maximum is 4, so on and so forth. And then we have your MOS, and this is where your characters really differ. They're all Marines, they're all really grunts, but they have different specialty training. So you have the AFV Marine. When the squad gets into the shit, you are one of the ones who has to come bail them out. So you're like a armored fighting vehicle driver, so APCs or tanks or whatever is your specialty. You have breacher Marines, smart gunners, comtech, CBRN, which is these are your trained, they're trained to assess and contain chemical and biological and radiological threats. Then you have your dedicated marksman, which is your sniper, your dropship crew chief, hospital corpsman, this is your medic, your forward observer, which is your scout, and then your rifleman, which is your standard guy, standard grunt. And then you have field events that you roll on, and depending on which MOS you took, you'll roll on different charts for field events, and the different field events are literally things that happen to you in your past, and it may give you a bonus or a hindrance of some type when creating your character. Just gives a little depth and backstory to your character. Then we have some new talents that are introduced in this book, and certain MOSs are going to use talents from here and the core book. But you have the talent of all-terrain driver, bypass, heavy weapons, hug the dirt, and remote. Then you have a listing of rank over here where you choose the rank within your squad, and then your personal stuff, name, and then we get into starting gear, which your MOS is going to list certain starting gear, and you get basic gear, bonus gear, and specialty gear. And it does mention that sometimes you will get such an amount of gear that you will have more than you can carry. In those cases, your character has to choose which item slots they are using up on a particular mission, while everything else is still laying in your bunk back in at base. Then in Chapter 6, it literally goes through and explains all of the gear. We get our stats and our great pictures of a lot of the weapons, stats for all the weapons, but pictures of some of them. You have pistols, rifles, and not all of them are ours. Some of them are UPP or Three Worlds, because you could be fighting or encountering them out there. So you might get your hands on their weapon. Explosives and ammunition, chemical weapons, suits and armor goes into uniforms, protective gear, body armor, other equipment that you would carry. And then we get into a section on vehicles. And this has all kinds of stuff, all kinds of different APCs, tanks, drop ships in here, and it has the stats for all of them, so you can use them. It even has celestial defense artillery guns. That's really cool. Let's see. Then we get into some of the flying vehicles, like these assault craft, drop ships. You got fighters and stuff that are in here, because you could be, you know, up there doing space combat in these fighters. And again, you have vehicle weapons here, all listed. Then we go into spacecraft. The different ones on here, like the Mantis. I mean, that's beautiful. You've got the Kremlin. That's a UPP ship, which is very cool looking. Just a lot of them. You know, your loadouts are like they are in the main book. And that's where the player section ends, and we get into the Game Mother section. This is the Marine campaign, and I'm not going to go through this page by page because I don't want to give spoilers away for people who might be playing this. But I will tell you that a lot of this is about how to run the Marine campaign, how combat procedures work, and then a breakdown of different types of missions that you can have. And they would include assault missions, recon missions, defense, sabotage and rage, combat patrol, search and rescue, peacekeeping bug hunt, civil evacuation, space assault, space traffic security, snatch and grabs, and investigation and complications that may go along with it. And then you get into a section on downtime between your adventures or between your missions and what can happen. Then we look at systems and bases. And this is a lot of the Outer Vale, Outer Rim Territories, Frontier, and beyond the 20 parsec limit. And lots of places are described in detail in here, and it shows you their key locations on the map of the Star of the Middle Heavens. And again, I don't want to give too much information away, so I'm going to skip through some of this. And let's see. Let's see, that's chapter 7. We're getting into chapter 8 now. Chapter 8 is Black Projects. And these are literally what they sound like. These are those off-the-book projects that people aren't supposed to know about. Again, I'm going to flip through here. I'll name a couple of them just to whet the appetite a little bit. You've got the Artificial Womb Soldier Program, Project Berserker, with some fantastic art there, Project Life Force, and Dark Star Program, and some more. I'm not going to go completely into them. Like I said, we're trying to avoid spoilers here, but I just want you to know that they're in there and they're usable. And then look at this fantastic art on Chapter 9, the Frontier War. And this gives you an overview, rumor control, what the real facts are, artificial agendas, and then involving the PCs in the Frontier War. And again, we are running into actual missions and stuff in the book, and I don't want to give too much of that away. There's NPCs in here. There's some stuff that deals with the engineers, and it's really cool. I kind of read through it, and I love, there's tons of maps that are detailed in here for different locations, and I love the maps in the Alien game. They're phenomenal. But again, just kind of a quick glance there, because we don't want anybody, screenshotting and spoiling anything. But the rest of the book wraps up with a Marine campaign that can be played in several missions in any order, and then one final in-game mission that wraps up the entire story. And it was really kind of cool that they did it that way. I like that a lot. Yeah, so that's your contents for the Colonial Marines Operation Manual. I was very, very pleased with it. I had no doubt the quality would be amazing, because every book that I've ever gotten from Free League has been amazing. They have been an amazing company to work with, not just on this, but I've had product come in damaged, not by their fault, but like shipping or whatever, and they've replaced it, on their own dime, and that's very cool of them. But that is your look at the Colonial Marines Operations Manual. So if you're looking to add Marines, even if you want to play a Marine in a regular game, he doesn't have to be just your standard Marine now. You could make a Marine out of here and give him a specific MOS, and that would give a little more detail to that character, other than just, he's an ex-Marine. So yeah, if you're a fan of the Alien role-playing game, I see no reason why you wouldn't pick this up if you haven't already. But if you haven't and you love the Alien universe, even if you don't play the game, the fluff in here is so good. It is just so fun to read these books. So I hope that you got something out of this look at the book, and I hope that you pick it up and take your crew out there and your team and start laying waste to some UPP jerks and some xenomorphs, if you happen to run across those. But if you didn't, whatever. But this is the Alien book. It is a book that several of us players and game mothers have been waiting on for a while. I'm very happy with it, and I highly recommend picking it up. So again, if you enjoyed the look at the book, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, all that jazz. And until next time, my friends, good gaming and good luck.